What's up, y'all? This is Matt Moore. I'm a husband, a father, a writer, and yeah, a self-confessed serial griller.
This is gonna be a burger like none that you've ever had before. Give it all we got here. This is fun. Hot eats, cool treats.
No scripts, no fluff, no excuses.
Forget about it.
Join me and the crew in my backyard and beyond. Just real food, good folks, and the fire that brings us together. This is Serial Griller.
A lot of different ways to light a fire. This, I'm just gonna use a really high-powered fan, so it's gonna blow heat. This is one of the places that I love to be. Maybe it's a long day after work. Maybe it's a weekend as you're celebrating with friends. Lighting this fire for me is just super primal. Crackle, the smoke, the sizzle. I'm a huge proponent that whenever you're setting up a charcoal fire, we want to work on kind of what I call a two-zone. So what I've done is I've kind of got my coals piled up a little bit higher on this side. If I want to sear, I can move it over here. If I want to calm things down, I can just move it to the more indirect side. Our bottom grate here, we can open this all the way up. That's going to give it a ton of oxygen. That's going to fuel that charcoal all the way up. So I can choke this thing down and go really low and slow and maybe have about an inch of airflow. If I'm cooking a steak and I want that really, really hot sear, I'm gonna open this thing all the way up. It's gonna give me a lot of oxygen. It's gonna pull it up. Where we start to kind of fine tune our temperatures as we've got our top grate right here. So again, that thought process, if I'm doing barbecue, I'm gonna be kind of limiting my airflow. That way it's just kind of living in there, convecting the heat around. But if I really wanna get this up for a great steak or a pizza or something along those lines, I'm just gonna open this all the way up. Oxygen is gonna come in, it's gonna convect around the food source, come all the way up, keep those coals really nice and hot. Nashville is one of those towns where a lot of people spend their time everywhere else, and the ability for me to connect with others during the week in this beautiful home that my wife has built is super important to me. That being said, it's a lot of work to cook for other people, and I think we sometimes feel a lot of pressure about curating that great experience. I think the thought that goes in of like cooking at home, what are things that I can make that I'm probably not gonna get at maybe a restaurant setting? The quality of the ingredients really matters, but it's really humble, it's affordable, but it's also still impressive. Appetizers are one of those first things that we spend a lot of time on. There's a lot of ingredients, and this is the beauty of just the grill. As people come over, my fire might be lit, guests start to arrive. When you're entertaining, you wanna be around your guests. So I've got some sausage. This is a Conecuh sausage that comes out of Alabama. It even tells you on the package that it's great for grilling. We put this over direct heat. We start to get a little bit of that nice char. So while that's cooking up, we're also gonna prep, again, a very humble, affordable dish. I think in the Midwest, they call them party potatoes. In the South, we might call them redneck potatoes. You know, other places you might get funeral potatoes. We've just got frozen chopped potatoes. Super simple. If you want to use fresh potatoes, you can do that as well. We're going to class it up a little bit with some sour cream. We also have a cream soup. We're just focused on relaxing, you know, setting up that moment for people to come over, maybe have a few cocktails, tell some tall tales. We've got our onion in, we've got our sour cream, got our cream of chicken. We're working over here on our sausage as well. You can see as it just starts to pick up that flame, it's exactly what we're looking for. I'm gonna go ahead and fold these guys in. Now that we got a good char on it, looks great. I don't want it to be too charred. And this is why we set up that two-zone fire, right? It puts us in control. We got hot heat over here, a little indirect. Let's go ahead and close our grill. I'm just gonna dial this back to make sure we're kind of maintaining that temperature. I know we've taken a couple of shortcuts with our canned chicken soup, also our store-bought potatoes, but one sacrifice or shortcut I'm not gonna take. Just take a few moments to kind of grate your own cheese, get that mixed in. I think you can probably never have enough cheese, so let's add a little bit more. We're a cheese family around here. All right, get that in. Salt, plenty of black pepper. And then we probably need to fold in a touch of love. I'm gonna leave myself a little bit of butter just to rim my dish. Just wanna make sure I've got an even corporation, make sure that everything's really nicely coated. A lot of people would take a dish like this and they put it in their oven. The whole point of Serial Griller is to get you outside and teach you that your grill also makes one heck of an oven. Take the rest of our butter, kind of grease our pan as if I were baking. All that cheesy goodness, the sour cream, the cream of chicken soup adds that kind of nostalgic flavor. Honestly, this is probably one of those dishes that my mom would make during the summer. Tons of great memories. We'll get all that in. It's already fantastic. Let's go ahead and put this on our grill. We're gonna place this right on top. Our sausage looks perfect. Guests might be arriving. We can pull this off, wet our palate, get our appetite started. Just gonna push these right back to our indirect side. Just kind of slice this really nice on the bias. It's casual, sets a tone. Doesn't have to be perfect. Maybe some bigger chunks. Those are the ones that I go after. Go ahead and get this on our board. And if we want to give it just a touch of pizzazz, we can. As I like to have a touch of a dipping sauce, the Hab Mussy from Lily's of Charleston. A little bit of spice, okay? We're also gonna add something I've been accused of a few times, of having a bit of a hissy fit. Nice blend of spice and smoke and flavor. And then just to dress it up a little bit, maybe a little chive. It's just super simple, like a little toothpick. It's casual. Welcome to my house. Make yourself comfortable. We take this sausage that's really fatty and just rich with flavor. We've got a great char, a little hissy fit on top for some spice. Might make your guests a little bit more interesting, let them drink a little bit more. And then we've got this mustard-based barbecue sauce. Lily's doing it up for us. Oh man. A little spice. Just enough. Need a cocktail, we're gonna make that later. Sometimes we have that dinner where it's like, hey, listen, what's for dinner is going to clean out the kitchen tonight. That's what's for dinner. This is one of those recipes that I put in my book because we had a lot of odds and ends kind of rolling around my fridge, like a half-eaten pepper. This is one of my kids' favorite dish, and it changes based on what I have in the fridge. Now, it is made a little bit better because my kids are obsessed with feta cheese, and we have this saying in the family that feta makes it better, so whatever I put on the grill, we load it up with a little bit of feta cheese, everybody's happy. We've got some carrots. These are beautiful and lovely. And one of the things I'll do here is just trim off these tops, but I'll save these tops maybe later in the week. Might make like a pesto or something along those lines, but I'm just gonna kind of cut these in half. I've cleaned these, but I haven't peeled them. Bell pepper. You don't have to slice this into small pieces. By leaving it a little bit larger, it actually allows us a little bit more control on the grill. It's not gonna fall through the grate. The main thing about the salad is I want it to have some integrity. I don't want it to be cooked to the point where things get too soft. I still look for that crunch. Season this up with some extra virgin olive oil. Give it some fresh cracked pepper. Flavors of whatever season you might be in. We're not dictated, just cook what's fresh. So let's give this a toss. It's a mess right now. It's all gonna come together at the end. What I like to do is just take my Brussels, put them cut side down. These are gonna live over a little bit more direct heat. And the leaves that kind of fall off, that's cool. Just put them on the grill. We might lose a little sacrifice to the fire. Get our tomatoes in. Whether there is smoke, there is fire, and that is a good thing. That char is just stunning. Our Brussels, remember, we sacrificed a little of these leaves. We're gonna let everything we can get off of this, we're gonna pull it off. Well, that tomato set us up for success. These carrots, they've just softened. You know, kids and Brussels sprouts, sometimes a tough gig. Put them on the grill, see what they say. My kids love it, I think yours will too. You can see that our potatoes are doing exactly what we want. That's why we put them on first. I'm gonna let these cool to the touch. Sort of our star of the show. Oh my goodness. This is one of my favorite cuts. I wrote a book called The South's Best Butts. It was not a calendar, it was a cookbook. And we talk about using the pork butt and all of its inclinations. Most people are familiar with this from the pork shoulder, right? Or pulled pork. It is affordable, it is humble. Very rarely will I find this in a restaurant. But if we approach it like we're gonna do today, we're gonna get that mix of kind of grilled meets barbecue. It's a really delicious steak. Each one of these is gonna serve 2 to 3 people, so it's gonna stretch to feed a crowd as well. Gosh, when I traveled all the 12 states of the barbecue belt to meet with pit masters and tell their story about tradition and family, sometimes I also had to ask for the recipes too. And let me tell you what, if you think Fort Knox is tough to get into, ask a pit master for their rub or sauce recipe. Sweet Smoke, Lily's of Charleston, family-owned operation, opened the Rib Shack by the father. Family's carrying on that tradition. We're kind of playing between 2 worlds of barbecue and grilling. I had a college professor that one time told me that nothing good happens after 2 o'clock in the morning. And in barbecue, really nothing good happens above 300 degrees. In this instance, we're gonna kind of play both sides. We're gonna grill this right on our fire, direct heat. And we just wanna have these grilled for 2 to 3 minutes. We'll turn them, another side 2 to 3 minutes. We'll come back, we'll meld the world of grilling and barbecue as this all comes together. Pork steaks, nice and getting grilled. Woo! I love it. Oh my goodness, look at that char. It's exactly what we're looking for. Now, this is a tougher cut, so the technique is kind of a 1-2. We're getting a nice sear on the outside, locking in that dry rub. We're gonna come back and give these guys the Texas crunch until they're just pull apart tender and delicious. In the meantime, we're gonna get to work putting together the salad. I've let these, kind of cool off a little bit. I still want the vegetable to have plenty of integrity, plenty of crunch. Not everything has to be served exactly hot. We can do room temperature. I think sometimes that brings out a totally different flavor. Just spread the veg around as I slice. How cool is that, huh? Look at that char on that corn. Vegetarian-friendly cereal griller. Now, Brussels sprouts, let's take a minute. I wanna do these cut side down. It's gonna put me in control. And then I love to just come, let my knife do the work, thin slice. Lovely. While that's happening, let's give our steaks just a little bit of love. Cooked them on both sides. Just gonna go ahead and kind of start to chill out our fire. Just fold this all together. My family, we love everything acidic, salty. I've got some nice Kalamata olives. Feta makes it better. My kids have a penchant for some of the best feta. They want the creamy, tangy, funky feta. I feel like sometimes I have to take out a second mortgage to afford that habit. This is a time that we want to use the good stuff, a finishing oil, just a splash of red wine vinegar. Kind of want to seed this narrative throughout. So I'm gonna pick up this mustard-based barbecue sauce that we're gonna do on the pork. And that's kind of the difference between like a good meal and a great meal. We're kind of seeding that experience between the appetizer into the salad, into our main. So just a touch, fresh cracked pepper. If I was on a deserted island and I could bring one thing, black pepper, maybe a pepper mill too. Just give this a toss. Just lovely. I've been accused of never taking a small bite. This is the quintessence of vegetarian style cooking on your grill. A lot of interesting things going on. The contrast, the sweet punch of the corn. Brussels are kind of replacing the salad. That mustard-based barbecue sauce is an absolute home run. Creamy, tangy feta, punch of the olive. Whew. Fantastic. A little bit of a trick that I learned traveling the barbecue belt, and it's a pitmaster secret. Comes from Texas. Because it comes from Texas, they named it the Texas Crutch. Shocking. Oh my gosh. Texas Crutch is essentially a method if your pork or your brisket was not fall off the bone ready. We wrap it, kind of lock in those flavors. We're gonna cook this pork until it's fall apart tender. Make sure that we're really capturing everything in that foil packet. You can see that I kind of made like a bit of a boat around the pork because as that pork starts to kind of cook, it's gonna release its own juices, and that is absolute gold. Indirect heat, low and slow. Remember that steak, we've got a lot of char and a lot of sear and a lot of fat and a lot of love and a lot of goodness. What we want to do here is kind of counterbalance that. So cherry tomatoes, these come from Pop's garden. Just a little bit of spice. Let's go ahead, add all these ingredients. Got a little scallion here. Apple cider vinegar will add a little bit more sugar. Fresh cracked pepper, give it some salt. And voila. What I'll do is I'll just kind of let this marinate and congeal. A really nice, bright, refreshing contrast to our pork plate steaks. Favorite time, cocktail time. The Bardstown Buck, chicken cock, small batch. And you know it, right on the grill, right over direct heat. Okay. Party potatoes, redneck potatoes, funeral potatoes, whatever potatoes you want to call them. I like to gallivant with even more gluttony. Some crispy chopped bacon. Oh my goodness. I don't have to heat up an oven, heat up my kitchen, and it's gonna pick up all that kind of nuanced charcoal flavor that takes this dish to the next level. We'll hit it with a little bit more fresh chive. This is something that is like nuclear hot, so we can let this rest probably 30 to 45 minutes before we even start to serve. So our fruit, just been lightly kissed by fire. This one held up really nicely, but that kind of serve as our garnish. This guy, got a couple stragglers. I like to muddle this while it's hot off the grill. The base of this, the most important part, chicken cock small batch. It's aged for over 4 years. Similar to cooking, a meal is only going to be as good as your ingredients. A couple dashes of aromatic bitters, a simple syrup, some fresh squeezed lemon. Just going to take that lemon, kind of rim my glass, and just hit it right in that sweet smoke. I'll let it get all the way out. Some ginger beer. Little zest of a lemon. To me, the Bardstown Buck. Oh my gosh. Small batch at the base. Just gives it enough bite, but that grilled fruit just takes a really good cocktail to the next level. And the dry rub, a little salty, a little sweet, perfectly balanced. This is a home rub. Our pork has now been cooking in our Texas crutch for about 60 minutes. Remember, we grilled these off with a hard sear, kind of the idea of getting that Maillard reaction and all that flavor of our foil and our Lily's finger licking good mustard barbecue sauce. Just kind of unveil. Shouldn't be this easy, guys. This is a packet of history, of family, humility, tradition. You can just see that this meat is already just pulling off the bone. Listen, you can have a filet mignon, you can have a ribeye. Give me a pork steak and I'm a happy man. Be very careful here, because again, fall off the bone. Oh my God. Goodness gracious, look at that. So we've got our corn, we've got some jalapeno for some heat, some cucumber, some chive, apple cider vinegar and sugar. I'm using a slotted spoon here. So we're just gonna kind of family style this dish right over the top. Let all those juices kind of play in each other. Go linear. Let's come in here. Again, it's just meaty, tender, affordable, humble, perfect for a dinner party. Everybody can kind of get in and share. I want to taste the meat first. Sweet, savory. The hard sear gives us that crust with the rub. Let's come in here and get everything. So, a dab, a little tomato. It's called a 1-2 punch here. So we'll get the meat, the salsa. Honestly, one of the best dishes I've ever made. Outstanding. So good. Today we're just gonna do a really beautiful homage to my home state of Georgia with some grilled Georgia peaches. It's kind of like a play on peach cobbler without the extra calories. Again, I think good olive oil here is a nice compliment. And I've got my grill really, really roaring hot. Once again, it's nice and clean from dinner. Just go ahead and get that sizzle from the peach right over that direct heat. And go ahead and also put a cast iron pan. Sort of like we're grilling and griddling both at the same time. Get some nice grill marks. All right, so our peaches have now been on just over direct heat right after dinner. Give your guests a chance just kind of do their thing. But this peach is over some pretty good direct heat. If it sticks, just come back and just address it later on. Right back over. Add in a mix of cinnamon and brown sugar. This is what the kids love. Just kind of let this bake. So I can hear the sizzle of the peach. You can hear the sizzle from the butter. Oh my gosh, that smell is off the chart. A little bit of glaze of our small batch. Some fireworks show for entertainment. Come back as that fire starts to quell. The quality of that bourbon mixes with the natural peach. This is something, if you really want to impress, you can serve your guests tableside. Lovely. I like a little coolness. My waistline doesn't like vanilla ice cream. So this is one of those dishes that I think you kind of lose a little bit of weight while you're eating it. Just a little dollop, some vanilla Greek yogurt. So many childhood memories of my mom making peach cobbler. It's the same satisfaction. It's different. It's a taste of home. Go make this.
I saw you the other night down the street you were walking, and I remember when I held you tight. I felt like a millionaire, and you were laughing and carrying on. The sky was pink and yellow, and I'm okay, but it hurt you gone. I'm okay, but it hurt you gone. I'll get over you in time, but I'm not ready. I'll get over you in time. Slow